YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Tom, 1/3 Trash Cats, and we're back with another video for you guys. This time we're doing a little different type of video. This is more informational. The other day, actually our last stream before 2021, I dropped a 22 kill game, which is my personal PR. So I was pretty happy about that. But I just wanted to go over the game because a lot of people, I've been wondering about, how can I get high kill games? How can I improve and improve on my PR? Because, if you play this game a lot, man, you always want to improve. You always want to get better. You always want to, top yourself as you go along. So we're just going to go over, it's going to be a two-part series. We're going to go over middle and beginning of the game and also end game. So this first part is going to be, early game and middle game. Just, how we rotate, what guns to use and stuff like that. But me being the idiot that I am, I forgot to change the scene until we finished looting and we rotated out of our initial spot. So I'm just going to talk about the early game in this intro for a second. In the early game, when you're trying to go for high kills, man, you really want to land in a spot where it's central to the map. In this game, we landed at Ground War. A lot of people, a lot of streamers that you watch will land Superstore because Superstore is always busy, and also is in the central of the map. You don't want to land like Farmland or Prison or stuff like that because it takes you way too long to rotate out. And once you get into a populated area after you're finished looting in your early game, you really, there's not a lot of people left because people die pretty quickly in Warzone. People get into a lot of fights and the lobby dies down pretty quickly. So you want to be able to land, get your loot, and get enough money to buy a loadout and a UAV as quickly as possible, because you don't want that lobby to die out when you're going for a 20-30 kill game, because it makes it so much harder to find people when you're trying to rotate. And let's talk about also what guns I'm using in this game. I'm using the basically the meta guns right now in the game: the MAC-10, the dual Diamatis, and the DMR. And to go for high kill games right now, you need the DMR. You can use different secondary guns. Your primary has to be a DMR. It's so OP, it's so powerful, that if you don't use it, you're at a disadvantage. So make sure you're using the DMR. I'm using the dual Diamatis in this game. You can use the MAC-10. If you have another secondary you're comfortable with, you can probably use that, because the DMR is so powerful. You can use it even as a close range weapon, when you're in pinch. So secondary is not as important, but make sure you're using the DMR. All right, so let's get into the mid game and talk about how we rotate and how we engage in fights mid game, going for high kill. All right, so here we are. We're at airport now. We rotated out from, like I said, Ground War. That's where the hangars are. So we rotated out here. We got our loadouts, and now we're about to engage. We're actually in the middle of a fight right now, and this is just when I changed my scene over, so bear with me. I'm just going to play the video, and we're going to talk about how everything's unfolding. All right, so we're in the video now, and we're in the mid game. We got our loadout, and we just picked up a bounty. Bounties are good when you're going for high kill games, because if you pop a UAV and you don't see where anybody is, pick up a bounty, you can at least see where one team is that you can push, and you can go from there. It also gives you a lot of money, so you can buy more UAVs or self-reses or whatever you need to keep pushing for those kills. So I'm just gonna play the video. We're gonna go over different situations, different fights, rotations, stuff like that, so you know how to play. So now I'm pushing ahead. I see the bounty is a little bit ahead of me, and I'm thinking that he's above me, but this guy surprised me. I didn't know he was just hiding in here, but fortunately he was a bot. Killed him pretty quickly. We're good to go here. Now I rotate back out away from the bounty because I'm hearing my teammates call out that there's a team in the middle of the runway, and they're getting into a fight with them. So I rotate back to help them, and As you can see, when I rotate or when I engaged into fights, I always want to make sure, let me pause the video. I always want to make sure that there's cover, right? I'm in the fence or in the tents, and they're outside. The other team is outside and they have no cover. They're just running around and there's no cover. So it's easy to pick people off. When you're fighting in Warzone, make sure you're moving from cover to cover, because if you're like this guy, right? He was in the hangars. He rotates out the hangars to try to get shots on me, but in the process, he exposes himself. Like, I'm shooting at him right now. He has nowhere to go. He has to engage into a gunfight with me, or he's dead, right? And this is what I call a 50-50 battle, because you're fighting somebody. And it's not really 50-50 because I'm in cover and he's outside. So if he gets cracked, he has nowhere to go to play it up. It's just, you got to shoot back, and that's all you can do. And that's not a situation you want to be in. So I'm gonna play the video, and I downed this guy easily because the guy's just standing there in the open. And check your heartbeat. Always carry a heartbeat. It's good to have, because I feel like it's one of the most useful weapons in the game. You know where people are. They're not ghosted. You know how far they are. You know what direction they're in. So heartbeat this guy. I see that he's trying to get over to the hangars area, and that area is very open. Besides those structures there, you kind of hide behind, but not really, because you can still shoot your feet. You can still shoot your head most of the time. So feeling pretty easy. This guy right here, I heartbeat him, but he got away because I didn't see him in time. And I know that I'm in front, right? So I didn't want to commit too much, because I didn't know who else was rotating in. So I didn't want to just run over there, try to kill this guy, and run into a whole team, because I didn't know if he was part of that team or he was part of another team rotating in that had ghost teammates or stuff like that. So I didn't want to play super aggressive and try to challenge this guy, because I didn't know how many people were there. So we just play it slow right now. My teammates are getting their ghost loadout. And that's another, let me talk about loadouts real quick. Another advantage of getting your loadout early before the first loadout drops is because once the first loadout drops, if you're not ghost, you can go ghost early. And that's a huge advantage because you don't show up on the map. And when you're pushing people and they pop UAVs and you show up on the map, you can get caught into a lot of bad situations where you're mid push out in the open, and they see you coming, and you're just dead at that point. So getting ghost early, getting your loadout early, and getting ghost early when the first free loadout drops is a huge advantage in the game. I think that's one of the best strategies that you can do when you're going for high kill games, because even not go for high kill games, if you're trying to win the game as well, you always want to be undetectable, right? You always want for teams to not know where you're coming from. So we push up. We're rotating in zone a little bit here, and I find out that there's a team up here. They're trying to get the loadout. Fortunately, we caught them off guard a little bit, get the first kill. And the first down is always huge, because now you're at an advantage numbers wise. So even if one of your players go down, you're okay. And this fight's pretty easy. Like I said, we have a lot more cover, just like the last fight. We have a lot more cover. They're out in the open in the parking lot, and there's not much they can do there except hide behind cars, which are not great cover a lot of the time. So Ernest gets down here because there's a guy on top, and he calls it out like a good teammate. So I'm trying to get an angle on this guy, and this is what you want to do. You don't want to run right towards your enemies. Get an angle. Make sure you can get a safe shot without getting exposing yourself too much. So fortunately, the guy's he was kind of looking at something else, so he didn't see me coming. So we got money. We buy another UAV and we rotate out. And right now I'm just scanning for enemies that because the zone's coming in. So I'm scanning for people that are coming into zone. This guy, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know why he got out of the car. He was trying to get into a hotel, but you know, DMR zone. So GG's. So right now I have 8 kills with 70 up, and this is a great spot to be in. You know, there's still a lot of people left. 8 kills is a great pace with 70 people up. So now we spot this most wanted, and I'm just pushing him. And see, I'm not going into the same building as him because I'm gonna try to see if he goes up on the roof, and we can just get easy shots. If you go to the same building as him and you're pushing up that, especially that building which only has one stair going up to the roof, most of the time you're gonna get into a 50-50 fight. And you know, even the most skilled players, you're gonna die a lot of times doing that, and you don't really want to do that unless it's necessary. See, like this guy, he hears the shooting, he comes out onto the roof. I tag the guy at the buy, down the guy at the buy, also down this guy after he hears shooting, and he peeks out. Easy kills. You want to get easy kills most of the time because it is a battle royale. You only get a couple chances because you die, you go to the googe, and you die again. That's it. Your game's over. And you can have, you know, 10 kills with 50-something people left, but if you die at a bad time and you lose your googe, that's over. You start all over again. So play safe, play smart, get easy kills. Like this, we spot this team coming out of Boneyard. They're running out into the open. We're behind rocks. We're behind cover. Easy shots, easy kills. This is what you want. And this, I'm just trying to get my finish because I downed the guy over here, and he's still showing up on UAV, so I know that he hasn't gotten finished yet. So I just go over, finish this guy real quick. Easy. And now we spot another team going over here, and this is where let me stop the video again. But this is where I make a huge mistake in the game, and I die. And the mistake was, like I was preaching before, fighting undercover. I've pushed out into the open, and there's not much cover here. You can hide behind the trees, but the trees are skinny. But if I just took a second to go to my left and get to the train, I would have been in a way better spot because if I get tagged up like I do here, I can just back up or go into the train, get some cover, and plate up. You see I have full plates here, so the plating up wasn't going to be an issue. So, but I decided to engage into the fight standing in the open right here, which is not smart of me. I get sniped, and I had self right here. But once you get sniped and you're down out in the open, there's nowhere else to go. So even though I revived myself, there's nowhere to hide. So I get sniped again and I'm dead. I gotta go to the googe. Thankfully, I win the googe, and I go right back. So we just watch the googe here, but. And while I'm in the googe, I'm still calming to my team, right? I'm still giving them information. I tell them where I died from. I tell them, you know, I should want to just push back a little bit because that team has their loadout now, and we're kind of out in the open. So I come back and I ask my team if I can land on my weapons. They're like, "Yep, it's cool." So I land right back on my weapons, get everything back, and we're good to go again. The only thing is I don't have ghosts, I don't have my perks, so I have to try to get the next loadout that drops if possible. So just be cognizant when you're returning from the googe, and even if you pick up your own weapons, be aware that if you had ghosts before, you don't have ghosts, and you don't have your perks, so you're not going to be moving the same. You know, you're not going to get as quick. So the fights are going to be different. But thankfully, I can land on my stuff. I don't have to, you know, go and loot for floor loot because that takes time. And when you're going for high kills, you're going for a lot of kills, you're pushing. You don't want to waste a lot of time coming out the googe and having to loot. Because, like I said, people die really quickly in this game, especially mid game to end game. They drop like crazy. So early game, I mean, mid game to early game, they drop like crazy. So you want to get as much kills as you can here. So now I think this is the third circle. So we're getting pretty close to the end game. So we're gonna get pretty close to the end of the video here, but I just want to show you that, you know, we're rotating kind of late because we got into all those fights earlier. So we got late rotation. So you're gonna be rotating with people, right? You're gonna be rotating with congestion, and so you got to be aware of that. You got to be aware that there's gonna be people to your left, to your right, and you can't really commit to a lot of fights like 100% because you can get shot in the back and you get shot from behind. So right now I'm peeking that team, but I'm not like standing there still to where I can get shot in the back. I'm keeping eyes on that team, but I'm keeping it moving as well into the zone, so to where it's safe and we can get into safe fights and not, you know, risky fights that you don't want to be, especially after you already died from Goose once. If you die again, your teammate's gonna have to buy you back, and a lot of times they're not gonna have the money to buy you back. So after you die and you come back from Goose, you got to be extra careful and extra safe with your fights. All right, so I'm going to end the video here. This is about the next zone is the fifth zone, so it's going to be the end game zone where it starts to get smaller and smaller. And in the next video, we're going to talk about end game rotations. My teammates die on the end game, so it's just me for most of the end game here. So that's going to be a good chance to talk about, you know, playing at a disadvantage and playing with men down. But I hope you enjoyed this first video. If you did, please leave a like on our video, subscribe, turn on the notifications. And if you want to see this live, we stream Mondays and Thursdays, at least on Mondays and Thursdays on Twitch, 10 p.m. Eastern time. All the details are in the description below. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I look forward to making the next one for you guys so we can all get better. All right, peace out. Bye.